Welcome to the grand finale of our China Unlocked Explainer. Over our past few sessions, we've tackled all the heavy lifting, the foundational stuff like visas, VPNs, and navigating those massive high-speed train networks. But let's be totally real here. Even with the most bulletproof prep, real-world travel loves to throw curveballs. So today, we're synthesizing everything into 10 unspoken operational rules that will literally instantly cure your travel anxiety. Think of these as the battle-tested hacks I absolutely wish someone had handed me before my very first trip. They're specifically designed to prevent those trip-ruining tech lockouts, monetary friction, and, well, awkward cultural faux pas. Let's dive in. Here's the roadmap for today. We'll be moving through 4 main phases: what to do before you leave home, mastering the payment ecosystem, transit and dining hacks, and finally, shifting your travel mindset. All right, kicking things off with phase 1, before you leave home, focusing on pre-departure tech and offline safeguards. So hack number 1 is absolutely crucial. Complete all your tech setup before you ever step foot on the plane. Do not wait. You want to avoid those frustrating App Store region locks and bank fraud triggers? You need to knock out all your SMS authentications, app downloads, and real-name passport scans right on your home Wi-Fi. Just picture this. You land at Beijing Capital or Shanghai Pudong. You are completely exhausted from a 14-hour flight, and you try to verify a foreign bank card or get an SMS code on a spotty airport connection? Yeah, it's gonna fail. Save yourself the headache. Do it at home, and you'll literally walk out of the airport completely ready to go. Moving to our second hack, and this is a big one. You have to prepare for the inevitable moments when the cloud fails you. Relying solely on live translation apps is a massive trap, especially when you hit a subway tunnel, a deep hotel basement, or a rural area with zero signal. You absolutely need to download offline language packs ahead of time. But more importantly, download Pleco. I can't stress this enough, this app is a total lifesaver. It's hands down the world's best offline Chinese dictionary. It lets you look up characters and literally draw strokes on your screen. And the best part? It runs entirely on your local device storage. No mobile data needed whatsoever. Moving right along to part 2, mastering the payment ecosystem, or as I like to call it, navigating cashless China. All right, hack number 3 is getting the hang of the dual QR ecosystem. China is virtually a cashless society now, but it's really not tap to pay in the Western sense. It's all about the QR code, and you absolutely need to understand the difference between the two modes. Sometimes you scan the merchant. That means you open up your camera in Alipay or WeChat to scan a static code sitting on a restaurant table or a street vendor's cart. But other times, the merchant scans you. In this case, you hold up your dynamic payment barcode to their point-of-sale scanner. And honestly, this second method, it's exactly how you'll breeze through convenience stores, supermarkets, and metro gates in absolute milliseconds. It's like magic once you get the hang of it. Now, hack 4 addresses a really common panic moment. What happens when the system throws a red flag? International fraud algorithms can and will occasionally freeze individual transactions when you're traveling abroad. So, what's your protocol? Never, ever link just one card. You want to add at least 2 or 3 separate credit or debit cards from entirely different banks right into your Alipay and WeChat wallets. If your primary foreign card fails at the register, no sweat. The immediate fix is to just instantly toggle over to one of those backup cards you've already loaded. You do this right inside the payment menu, saving yourself from that awful panic of holding up a massive line. And that brings us to hack 5, which completely destroys a super persistent myth: the idea that cash is somehow totally banned in China. Actually, legal tender RMB literally cannot be refused by law. Now, sure, 99% of your transactions are going to be mobile, but you should always carry about 200 to 500 RMB in physical emergency cash. Just tuck it safely behind your phone case or in a little zip pouch. Think of it as your ultimate safety net. If you wander into a super rural area, if your phone battery randomly dies, or if there's just a temporary network outage, having this cash on hand guarantees you are never left stranded. Okay, let's smoothly transition into part 3, transit and dining hacks, where we learn how to move and eat exactly like a local. Let's look at hack 6, which is all about physical logistics. Seriously, you guys, stop burying your passport deep at the bottom of a heavy backpack. In China, your passport isn't just a little book for airport immigration. It is basically your universal ID ticket. You're going to need to scan it constantly. At high-speed train gates, it actually acts as your literal train ticket when you tap it on the facial and passport readers. You're also going to need it for hotel check-ins, museum security, ferry terminals, the whole shebang. So the pro tip here: keep it highly accessible in a flat crossbody sling or an inner neck pouch. You want to be able to whip that thing out in under 5 seconds flat. Hack 7 is an absolute game changer. It is all about dining out without the language barrier. When you sit down at a restaurant table, just look around for a little square QR sticker and scan it with Alipay or WeChat. Once you're inside the restaurant's mini program, you just tap the built-in translation button. Boom! Instantly, you have full-color photos of every single dish, translated right into English. You can pick your dietary preferences, choose your exact spice levels, making sure you get a little spicy instead of melt your face off spicy, and then just send your order straight to the kitchen. You don't even have to wave down a waiter.
Finally, we arrive at part 4, shifting your travel mindset, focusing on those essential cultural and digital adaptations. Hack 8 is a firm, non-negotiable rule, so listen up, do not tip. Tipping simply does not exist in mainland China. The service charges are already built straight into the prices. If you try to leave some extra cash on the table just out of habit, it's going to backfire. You'll just end up in this incredibly awkward situation where the waitstaff is literally sprinting down the street to return the money they think you accidentally left behind. So do yourself and the wonderful staff a huge favor and just save everyone the embarrassment. Now, Hack 9 is all about shifting those deeply ingrained digital habits. As you can see, Western apps simply don't work the way you're used to. You absolutely have to replace them with their local equivalents. The biggest trap is expecting Google Maps to work perfectly or trying to just flag down a street taxi. Instead of Google Maps, you're going to want to adapt to Apple Maps or AMAP for your walking and subway navigation. Instead of Uber, you'll use Didi, which is amazingly convenient because it's baked right inside your Alipay app. Yelp is replaced by an app called DinePing, and as we already covered, credit card taps become QR payments. Just embrace the local tech ecosystem, and I promise everything gets so much easier.
And finally, Hack 10 reminds us of a truly beautiful reality. Despite all of this high-tech infrastructure and digital convenience we've talked about, your ultimate lifeline is always going to be the local people. Seriously, don't be afraid to ask for help. Even with the language barrier, locals are remarkably warm, curious, and incredibly helpful to foreign travelers. If you ever find yourself lost, just open up your translation app or simply show someone your destination in Chinese characters on your phone screen. More often than not, you'll find that people will stop whatever they are doing to physically walk you to the right train platform or street corner. It's genuinely a wonderful part of the travel experience. I'm going to leave you with this final thought to wrap up our China Unlocked explainer today, because it perfectly sums up everything we've unpacked across all our sessions. China isn't difficult to travel, it's simply different. Once you understand the system, the country opens up. It's so true. When you replace your old default assumptions with these 10 simple habits, all that logistical friction just fades completely into the background. And what's left? You get to experience one of the most dynamic, vibrant, and culturally rich trips of your entire lifetime. So here's my final question for you. Are you ready to pack your toolkit, drop your assumptions, and go unlock China for yourself?